I purchased the most beautiful dress for my infant daughter, Laura Faith. It was a soft white dress with ruffles and a pink rosette near the collar. It reminded me of a beautiful wedding dress I would help purchase for her one day as an adult. I was alone in the house. My 5 sons and my husband were away for the afternoon. So I unboxed the dress and I smiled because it came with a headband and bib that matched the dress. I laid it on the bed, but then I had an overwhelming sadness. This was not Laura's wedding dress, it was her funeral dress. Laura Faith had an incurable health condition and died in my arms 2 hours after her birth. After Laura passed, I turned to my horse, Misty, who helped walk me through my grief, and I helped walk her through her past trauma. What I discovered is that animals, in my case, my horse, gives us the gift of unconditional acceptance, embracing us where we are in our grief journey. They guarantee us the freedom to express our emotions, whether it's laughter or tears, without the fear of judgment. Even the act of simply feeding them each day gives us great joy. In the world of thoroughbred horses, there's a unique and symbolic tradition that occurs when these horses come to the end of their life journey. It's not the usual practice to bury the entire horse, but rather a special ritual unfolds. In this tradition, the most significant parts of the horse are preserved: the head, and the heart, and the hooves. Each of these hold a profound meaning. As for the rest of the horse, it's often cremated, returning to the elements in a different form. But what this reminds us that the horse has these incredible attributes that we admire, and that there's a deep connection between the horses and us because we're spirited beings. I believe Misty was hit in the head. I think that she was abused, and she did not want anyone to come close to her head. It took me hours to put the halter on her, but I would reward her with every bit of lowering of her head when I put light pressure on the top of her poll, which is behind her ears on top of her head. I would give her a release of pressure. That's how you guide animals. You can't be angry or frustrated when you work with them, and even if I had a bad day, it's wrong to get mad and punish them. Instead, we would work on relieving their fear of pain. Give yourself the same kindness. As I was sad after the loss of Laura, I had to give myself the gratitude that I had because I was a parent, and I loved being the mother of a daughter. What I would do, I'd have this gratitude, then I would release myself from the pressure, and I would give myself a healthy treat such as meditation or exercise, or even spending more time with Misty. 12 years ago, my son Andrew, who was living his best life and just finished his freshman year at Texas A&M University, died suddenly. We were devastated. We loved him so much. I had to learn a spirit of trust. I would have to feel like with trust I would feel better one day. Horses and people are spirited beings. Rather than relying only on hope and optimism to walk through your grief, move towards trust, because trust gives us that greater latitude. And we are going to use this trust to help others as we can help them walk through their grief as well. Now, Misty had a trust issue, but I want to tell you one thing. There's nothing more exhilarating than being on the back of a horse running smoothly. However, Misty had a trust issue. She didn't want anyone to trim her hooves. But hoof health is really important in a horse. A horse can become lame and not be ridden if they have poor hoof health. Misty would jerk her hoof away from the hoof trimmer, but as she learned to trust me, she would stand calmly. And as her weight was able to stand on her beautiful hooves, she was able to run quickly and smoothly again. Once again, I had to ride through my grief a third time. My husband David and I had a loving, happy 32-year marriage. I held his hand as he passed away in our home after a 3.5-year battle with prostate cancer. Our 4 sons and daughter-in-law surrounded him. This time, I had to move quickly through my grief. I had to trust that I had the fortitude and the resilience to move forward. As I work with horses on my beautiful Texas Redbud Falls ranch, I am constantly reminded that there's a 1,200-pound animal that could kill me. Yet I approach with love and care. And as I work with animals, I also work with people. So as I help them relieve their fear of pain, I help them have greater success and joy and peace. Now, animals of any kind can be used for this emotional bond. Whether you have a 80-pound tortoise like me, or a horse, or a cat, or a dog, or a bird, there are many kinds of animals that can be an emotional match for your well-being. If you don't have animals of your own, you can foster a pet, volunteer at a pet shelter, or even participate in equine-assisted therapy. The risk of loving deeply again is worth it. Today, Misty and I have great adventures together. We even go trail riding at Cap Rock State Park and stare eye to eye with wild bison. We have success, joy, and peace. So can you.